Back at it again. Welcome back to Headlight Headlines, your daily automotive news podcast. Hope you all are having a great day today because we've got a few stories for today. It is Monday, January the 23rd, 2023. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HlightHlines. On YouTube, you can always find a video version of this podcast. On Instagram and TikTok at Headlight Headlines. And with that being said, let's jump right in. And this first one is a pretty interesting article about certain customers and how Ford is treating the Bronco delivery. So, you may or may not know that the Broncos, because they are so popular, are difficult to get the specific one you want. And that's kind of basically what this article is describing, how customers who have ordered the Bronco, certain models are really difficult to get at all, and they take forever. So this goes through basically a customer, his name is Chris, and talks about how his experience has gone with ordering the Bronco. So he ordered the base model Bronco with the Sasquatch package, which is more of just like an off-road upgrade package, but it still is the base model. And that combination of the base model with the Sasquatch package is hard to get because the base model comes with a different engine than the other models. So basically, he discusses how he placed this order in about January 12th of 2022, if not before that. And then later in October 2022, they say, hey, we're not making any more 2022 models. You're going to have to switch your reservation over to 2023 model, which happens. Like, that happens if you don't get it in that year. And Chris says how he was kind of prepared for that and knew that could happen. So then, just 2 weeks ago, on January 13th, 2023, he gets an email saying Ford has options that he can choose from. Bronco order modification, customer private offer. So Ford is giving him 4 options that he can take instead of having to just sit here and wait who knows how long for them to build it. So the first option they would give him is $2,500 to just change the order so that they can build it right now, so that they don't have to wait for whatever the other things are. For his, it includes the hardtop color, the Sasquatch package, and the Luxe package. Or the second option is they'll give him $2,500 to get a different Ford vehicle instead. Bronco Sport, Edge, Escape, Expedition, Explorer, F-150, Ranger, or get one off the lot, a Bronco off the lot, which is pretty difficult to find, and they have dealer markups. Third, you can switch the trim level that you're getting, basically, of the Bronco to one that they can build. Or, number 4, cancel the order. And he gets this email on the 13th of January, and then he gets another email this past week that we just had, and he gets one saying your vehicle has been scheduled for production and it will be built in March, and he gets a VIN number, which is crazy. And then just days later, he gets another email saying urgent information regarding your Bronco order, and they're basically saying that he needs to contact his dealer to order a more buildable configuration. So it's tough for those ordering a Bronco right now. It's hard to see. Honestly, the best bet, I would think, is just to see if you can get one. Somebody driving a motorcycle by. See if you can get one off a lot and get that discount that they're offering, even though it's hard, and see if there's any close to what he wants. Maybe a base model that doesn't have all the options he wants, or maybe a higher trim level. I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in, and it stinks, to be honest. But hopefully Ford can get this all figured out soon, get more of their parts that they need so that they can get more orders fulfilled. Next up, we have another company offering discounts. Lucid Motors offering a $7,500 discount. And this is mainly because, well, it's believed that this is coming up because Tesla has started slashing some of their prices. And Lucid, being a competitor, is going to do the same thing. And so you can save. It says on their email, it said, save $7,500 immediately, accelerate instantaneously. Interesting, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. So it says here that at this time, Lucid Motors is able to pass $7,500 savings for lease customers only through Lucid Financial Services. So it says here, Lucid Financial Services is a partnership with Bank of America, and basically they're able to do some sort of tax write-off when they do this. So, like, that's why they're only doing it for the lease customers and not just any customer. So if you're gonna lease a Lucid, which is like $110,000, you can get $7,500 off, which may not be a lot, but hey, better than nothing, I guess. Next up, we got one that's pretty interesting, and I feel like it's flying a little bit under the radar here, and it is that Nissan Z in Japan is gonna get a new front grille, front bumper, different than what we have here in America. So you can see here, this picture shows that new grille, and it, instead of the regular where it's like a big rectangle cutout, this one has a smaller rectangle up top and then a lower grille that has a little bit of different geometry. They're not confirming any details, but this was on a prototype in Japan last week, and here you can see it up next to the current grille model, and I think it makes it look a little less boxy. Like, it, I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't think it's terrible. I think some people will like it. Here's another picture of a different one with camo on. So, who knows? It's interesting that they are doing this so soon. The car just came out. So this kind of signifies to me, hey, there might be a facelift coming here in the future, in the next couple years, which, fine by me, I guess. Next up, this is a really interesting article and something I never really thought about before, but there's a company, I believe, in the United Kingdom called Coleman Milne, and they are a hearse manufacturer, and they have made EV hearses, which is kind of interesting. But, like, I feel like obviously this is more of like a company, like, work vehicle, technically. I don't think it's that bad of an idea. It may save them money in terms of having to get gas all the time. Like, in the long run, it may save them money compared to a gasoline engine vehicle. So here you can see this picture of the Tesla one. There's some mock-ups, I guess. I don't think they've actually made them yet, but, like, they're going to make them, kind of deal. They're planning on making them. Or maybe they have. It's not really said. Very interesting, because, like I said, I never thought about it. So it's not out yet, but it'll be out here in the first half of 2023. But they got a glass roof, flat, full-length deck, power lift tailgate, sliding deck. The Mach-E has a 75 kilowatt battery. It has only about 200 miles of range, and 13 inches higher and 61 inches longer than a normal Mach-E. Crazy. And then the Whisper is what the one based on the Model S is called, and you can go 220 miles. And I think it's pretty cool to see these other markets kind of accepting the EV market. I don't really see an issue with it, to be honest. You do you. Next up, we got a pretty cool camper van here, made by Winnebago. It's called the ERV2, based off the Ford E-Transit electric van. And they just showed this off at a show in Tampa, where they showed a bunch of motorhomes and campers, towables, things like that. It is the fully electric ERV2, and it is really fancy. I want to see if it says how expensive this thing is, because I saw some of the pictures and it's crazy. But obviously it's based on the 2022 Ford E-Transit van, which is the electric one, and it is a 48-volt system, and it has more than 15,000 usable watt hours, which is crazy. The chassis battery takes 45 minutes to get 80% charge, which is pretty good. House batteries take 2 hours or 5 hours, depending on the electricity available. And it has 2 charging cords, one for the chassis, one for the house batteries. And when not charging, the chassis battery can feed the house battery, which is interesting and helpful. It has a range of 108 miles, and they're looking to extend that, obviously. But here are some of the pictures. 5-gallon bump in fresh water has 30 gallons, and gray water 22 gallons. Here's some interior pictures. It looks so fancy, super duper fancy. In here, you can see the seating area of the table. I'm assuming the bed's up here. It can go off the grid for up to 7 days, which is crazy. And I think it's really cool. Sourced with recycled materials wherever possible. So they're saying more than 19%. Oh, the flooring is 19% recycled. That's really cool. Let's look at some more photos. So you can see it kind of has this like camo, kind of like, it looks like a coloring book on it, honestly. The back, this is the back doors where it has the bed. Here's it not in the dark. There's the charging, which it looks like is up front. That's probably either the chassis or the house one, and then the other one's probably somewhere else. It's got solar on the roof. You can see the outlets in there. Here's the little fold-up tray. There's the seating area up there. I think it's really cool. It's definitely small, but that's just kind of how it is made to be. Really cool. I think it's really cool, and I think this segment will continue to grow here in the near future. And then the last one, this one's kind of just another article to go over here. It is the cars that the staff of Jalopnik, who wrote this article, are the most looking forward to driving in 2023. So there's, I believe, 13 of them. They just asked individual people and said, hey, what car are you looking forward to driving the most here next year? And the first one is the G80, the Genesis G80 electric. So they have a gas-powered one that's been out for a year, I believe, and the electric one is coming out this year. And it is a really nice car, and I'm interested to see what the sales will be, the electric compared to not, for a car in this segment next year. Next up is the Polestar 3, a beautiful car. I'm personally a huge fan of Polestar. It says it's due in mid-2023, and I can't wait to see more about this because it is a beautiful vehicle. Next up is the Prius, which you might not, if you haven't seen the new Prius, you might not have thought of it, but it looks completely different. It looks kind of cool. I like it, but it's nothing that crazy. Here, next up, the Colorado ZR2. I'm on this page. I love the Colorado ZR2. This is what I would pick, or I would actually pick the Canyon AT4 because I have a Canyon, a much older one. But these trucks are insane, and they're pretty expensive. Next up, the Integra Type S, another one that a lot of people are looking forward to. Obviously, based off the Civic Type R, kind of. But it's really... I would like to see the new Integra, because I've been in the new Civic, and it's really nice, but I want to see the Integra. Then we got the Yamaha Tenere 700. I don't know anything about motorcycles. The Lotus Emira, which has either a Toyota supercharged V6 with a manual or an AMG source turbo 4-cylinder with a DCT. Very interesting. The Mustang Dark Horse, obviously one of the biggest ones of the year. I'm not a Mustang guy, but it looks like Camaro, and I like Camaros. Ioniq 6 from Hyundai, very interesting looking car, but Hyundai has a pretty big electric vehicle segment that they're building, and I think they'll see a lot of success with cars like this. The Mustang again, and yeah, Ferrari 812 GTS. I don't know much about it, but it looks cool. So, a lot of cool cars coming this year. I'm excited to see them. Definitely excited for the new Colorado, and I'm very interested in the Prius, to be honest. Just of how much of a change up it is in looks. But that is it for today. Hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.